Hey, what's up everybody? This is Tim from Arm Wrestling Secrets, and I wanted to talk in this video about one of the most important aspects of arm wrestling training, in my opinion, and that's the importance of elbow stability when training in arm wrestling. Okay, so look at this. Okay, I'm gonna show you this in another clip here, but this box that I have here, this is a 12-inch plyometric box, and before I show you what it looks like, I wanted to show you what I meant by the importance of elbow stability when arm wrestling training. And this is probably something you're not doing, and I think this is really important, and a lot of my exercise routine after this is going to be based on this box and the stability created by it, okay? And this is going to be a huge advantage for your arm wrestling training. Okay, now look at this. Okay, when you're arm wrestling somebody, you're pulling towards you. Whatever exercise, whatever direction you're trying to, you're in this direction, right? Normally when someone does bicep curls, they're standing up and they're lifting from the ground. Remember, your opponent's not on the ground, your opponent's across from you. So think about it. Wouldn't it make more sense from an arm wrestling perspective to do your lifting somewhat in this direction? Okay, so it's in the same direction as your opponent. Okay, so whatever you're doing, whether it's pronation, whether it's bicep training, whether it's radial flexion, whatever you're doing, you should be training two things. One, which I already mentioned, which is the direction. You should be training in terms of the force. Okay, you should be training from the direction where your opponent would be. Okay, so like I said, in arm wrestling, your opponent is across from you, not on the ground, not to the side. So if I'm arm wrestling the person that's across from here, and I'm training to win in arm wrestling, I should train and mimic as close as possible to the actual competition space, okay, which is a real person pulling on this arm in some direction, okay, but they would be there. I want to pull in the same area, in the same angle, okay, the angle that they would be in for effective training. I hope that makes sense, okay? So, but here's how we're going to use the box. I'm going to show you this quickly, and then I'll turn around and I'll show you the box. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, now see what I'm doing here? This box is going to allow me to train with weights in the gym or at home and keep my body in exactly the right position for arm wrestling. And then the second thing I wanted to mention was the whole point of the video: stable elbow while training. Think about it. When you're doing your bicep curls at home, your elbow is moving for the most part. When you're doing your other exercises, your pronations and things like that, your elbow is probably moving. It's probably not fixed to a surface like it is in arm wrestling. And this is a huge training factor, and it took me a long time to realize what the problem was. If your elbow is stabilized, that is a much better way to train for arm wrestling. Think about it. Now watch me here. Okay, now like I said, I'm not talking about setting up a pulley system across from your arm wrestling table. Not everybody can do that, and I'm not suggesting that's actually the right thing to do. This video is about how to do that without using your table and without using a cable machine, okay? Watch this, okay? Now, we already talked about trying to set up the precise angle. Now, if I put my arm down on the box, and like I said, I'll show you the whole box here. I have one at home as well. Okay, what if, I'm gonna move this back a little bit. Let's say I'm training my forearm muscles, and I'll show you these in a later video. I got a whole series for you. Let's say I was training my forearm muscles. Okay, two things I could do. I could just stand here and go like this, right? That's pretty stable. My elbow's not stabilized though, okay? Or I could do the same exercise on the box. And I want you to see this, and then I'm gonna flip it around for you to see. Watch. Okay, now my elbow is stabilized. Now my elbow can't move. Same exercise, it's a lot harder all of a sudden. Now my elbow can't move, I'm totally stuck. Now it feels a lot more like arm wrestling. Now think about it. I'm pointing towards the floor, but think about my angle here. I'm pulling from the same direction. I'm pulling from the same direction that my opponent would be, okay? So that angle is correct. When your elbow is stabilized here and you're pulling directly this way, you see what I mean? You're pulling this way. You're at the correct angle of strength for building an arm wrestling. Now I'm going to turn the box and then I'll show you the whole box. Okay, now watch this. Okay. Now I have the box turned towards you. Okay, now look at this from an arm wrestling perspective. Now this will make sense, and I really want to show you how to incorporate this into your training. This has made a huge difference for me, and I'm quite positive it'll make a huge difference for you. Stick with me here. Okay, same exercise. Now watch what I'm doing, okay? Now, and I'll show you how I do my foot placement and all that stuff later, okay? That's not important. We'll be using this box a lot. I just wanted to introduce it, and I wanted to introduce the idea of stabilizing your elbow while training. That's how to train for arm wrestling, not an unstable elbow. It took me years to learn that. Okay, watch. Okay, so once again, let me back up a little bit so you can see this, guys. Okay, my elbow's on the box. I'm in arm wrestling position. My elbow's in the middle of my body, right? Look. Okay, as opposed to standing up and doing the same exercise. It is nowhere near as effective without your elbow stabilized, okay, and in the right direction. I'm in the wrong direction if I'm doing curls standing up. Yes, I'm still building my forearms. I'm still building my biceps, okay? I'm still building the wrist muscles. But it's in the wrong direction. It does make a difference. It does make a difference, okay? Stabilize your arm on the box. All of a sudden, you're at the correct angle from where your opponent would be, okay? Stable elbow. Let me cut the video right here and I'll show you what the box looks like. Okay, guys, so we're talking about stabilizing your elbow while arm wrestling. Now, this is kind of a funny thing, and I came upon this by accident. This is actually, I'm going to put this down. This is actually a plyometric box. This is a box that you can actually stand up and jump on and things like that. That's actually what it's designed for, is to jump up on and jump down on. Now, keep in mind, this is a 12-inch box. They make these quite a bit bigger. They actually have one back here. This one's 18, that's too wide, okay? 12-inch box is exactly perfect. I have one at home that I'll show you as well. But this is perfect for arm wrestling. So what I do with this is, what I just do is I take it, I flip it up, just like so, okay? And then when I go to get on the box, I can use it for a perfect arm wrestling angle, and it keeps my elbow in exactly the right position. Let me keep the camera back a little bit, and then you can see how I actually get into the box position here. Okay, guys, now, so it doesn't matter exactly what exercises you want to do on the box. I'll be going over tons of them in the near future.
Oh, there was a time I'd grown so tired of life, and what a shame if I threw it all away. Said life ain't hard until you get knocked out, but it don't care no matter what you say.
But I wanted to show you is kind of how I get into the box, what it looks like with my whole body on there. I'm going to get away from the camera a little bit, so I'll be yelling a little bit at you. But let me show you what it looks like from a distance, and then I'll turn the box around so you can see it from the front, okay? Let me just grab a lightweight. I'll pump out some reps so you can see the idea, and then I'll turn it to the side, okay? I'm just going to use right hand here. Okay, I got my right hand here. I'm just going to do one of my favorite radial flexion exercises that I'll be covering really soon, okay, using the box. Stable elbow. Here we go, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wrap my foot around the front of the box, okay, just for stability. And that's why you can't use an 18-inch box. The 18-inch box is just too big for your body. It's too wide. You can't get around it, okay? The 12-inch box is about perfect. Okay, here's what it looks like. Watch this, okay? I'm going to take my foot, and like I said, I'll demonstrate this later, but I'm going to put my foot around the front just to keep the box from rotating back and forth, okay? And then I'm going to stabilize it with my elbow. Okay, elbow comes into arm wrestling position, And then I'm just keeping my back foot, just keeping the box braced. And then I'm exercising in exactly the right angle. Let me turn this around. And that's a great way to use the box for stability.